Hello, people. Welcome to Wilco Whites and welcome to Team Talk. So presser done, and I just want to look at Crystal Palace. Now, Crystal Palace will play them Saturday night, 8 o'clock. It'll be on Sky TV if you can't make the game. Now, they're doing really well this season. They're sitting fifth in the Premier League, and it's an away form actually that is really good for them at the minute. You know, they've won 5 away from home, drawing one and only losing 2 games away from home all season. Interestingly enough, they've only won 2 games at home this season, so it's definitely the away form that's got them sitting fifth in the Premier League. I like this Crystal Palace team. I like the manager, Oliver Glasner. I think he's a great manager. I like his way he sets his teams up. Ironically, they do play with a 3 at the back. I like his philosophy, and I've seen Palace a couple of times, and they do give teams a good go at. They are a bit of a tough team to come up against, so it's not going to be easy come Saturday for us. They do, however, have a few players missing. Ismail Assar, who's away on African Nations duty, is a big miss for them. He's done really well. Daichi Kamada as well. He picked up a knock or an injury, hamstring injury. A couple of games ago. He's a big miss for them, in centre midfield. Raid, Cadnes, Parker, and Decore, Decore missing there, and Munoz also picking up another injury there for Crystal Palace. So they have a lot of injuries and missing players there. For us, obviously, Longstaff, Dan James, and Lucas Nemecha missing. Nemecha not quite ready there. Longstaff is sort of training on his own at the minute. Dan James luckily doesn't need surgery, which is great to hear. Looking at predicted lineups, and I do want to get into the more tactical side of Crystal Palace, which we'll do in just a minute. But I just want to look at the predicted lineup for Crystal Palace and ourselves. For Palace, obviously, they've got Henderson, who's a good goalkeeper in goal, and Mark Gahey, linked to Liverpool, still linked to Liverpool, captain for Crystal Palace, alongside I think it's Lacroix, you say it, or Lacroix, and Richards in that 3-man defence, with Nathaniel Klein as the right wing back, and Tyreek Mitchell at left back. And we know they're good players and they can get forward, so they will be obviously a danger, but along with ourselves as well, with us having Goodmanson and Bogle. In the midfield, they have Adam Wharton, really good midfielder. He has been involved with the England squad. Started out with Blackburn, but he's settled into Premier League life. No problem. Really good midfielder there. Alongside, and it's there, Christian Uche. Interesting enough, we was linked with Christian Uche in the summer. He's on loan from Getafe. Normally a striker, can play in that forward areas, but can play in them centre midfield areas. So interesting that on the prediction there that he's actually sitting in there. That is down to the injuries that Crystal Palace have. Pino, and it's saying there Nketiah. We know Eddie Nketiah, how good he is, and just playing there alongside Mateta. Now, whether they'll go a 3-4-3 or a 3-4-2-1, which I think it will be a 3-4-2-1, we will see. Mateta is carrying an injury. He can't last 90 minutes. Don't think he needs surgery, but they are managing his minutes. I think he only played like 60 odd minutes in his last game. Still scored 7 goals this season. Mateta, he is a threat. Again, linked with us this in the summer, but we were linked with a lot of players. So again, a player that's a real threat. But again, if we can keep him under control for the first part of the game, then I can't see him lasting the full 90 minutes. For us, I think it'll just be the same. Unfortunately, Nemecha's out. like I just said. But Okafor, it will probably start in this position. Did really well against Brentford. Unlucky not to get on the score sheet. We've got Tanaka, Ampadu, and Stack. Now, Tanaka didn't have the best games against Brentford, and you could tell when he came off, he was disappointed with himself there. Needs to up his game. I think it's just a bad game for Tanaka. How good he's been in the last few games. And yeah, I'm thinking we will start with the 5 at the back, or if you want to call it a 3-5-2 or a 5-3-2. It'll be the same team for me. It's unfortunate. I would like to see Willie Gnonto in that side, but with this formation, it's hard to get him into the team. Again, it's an option for us if we do revert to the 4-2-3-1 with Gnonto playing out on that right hand side. I mean, the ball he put in for DCL to head home was beautiful. It was beautiful balling. He did do that last. I think it was last season. It was a similar ball, and he played into Pirro. I can't remember who it against, but we do know Willie Gnonto. He has got a great delivery. It's just a shame with this formation we can't see him getting on the ball and getting him in wide areas. But again, it's an option. And Calvert-Lewin obviously playing as well. Hopefully he can make it 5 out of 5. Really on form, and it's great to see. It is really great to see. There is. Then if I keep getting asked about England call-ups and things like that, I just think, well, maybe let's just wait a little bit. Let's just appreciate Calvert-Lewin. How he's playing right now. If it does continue, then yeah, why not? Why not be an option for England? So that is the predicted lineups. What I want to talk about now is obviously Oliver Glasner, and his approach. Now, his core style there is structured, is disciplined, and loves his vertical transitions. Then primary formation, we're just seeing there 3-4-2-1, but it's flexible. It can sit into a 5. You can go to a 5-2-3 if need be. Really flexible with this formation. Pressing, intelligent, trigger-based, coordinated units. Yeah, we'll talk about that. Attacking, quick progression, wing backs, and the third man play. Defense, compact, adaptable block, shape morphing. Philosophy, habits and patterns, and a rigid formation. So in transitions, obviously winning the ball back, it depends where they win the ball back, but if you obviously as soon as they get on the ball, they do like to attack immediately. So ball progression is prioritized, and whether that's through like direct passes or running from deep, they will do this. Exploiting wide channels, again we've talked about Nathaniel Klein and Mitchell out there on that left. That is where the wide play will come into effect. Losing the ball, so I like this as well. So defensive transition, this is what I really like. Rather than they try and pressing to win the ball back straight away, they regroup. They come back and regroup, positioning to regain structure, and again to deny counter-attacking spaces. So if they're pressing straight away to try and win the ball back, and then they lose it straight away. Again, there's going to be players out of position. There's going to be spacing behind them that we can expose. They don't do that. They drop that deep. They regroup, and that's what they do. I absolutely love it. I love this type of football. It's like attack as a team, defend as a team. So out of possession and defense. Compact blocks, so the defending tight blocks and shrink space centrally. They're forcing opponents wide where pressure traps are set. So yeah, they will force us out wide. I don't think it's a bad thing for us, but I would like to see us trying to overload in them wide areas. Whether it is maybe a Tanaka pushing out wide to help say Bogle on that right hand side. That's an option. On that left hand side, you might see maybe Okafor. He could also come from his central area and push out wide to help out Goodmanson on that left hand side. I know it would only probably leave then DCL in that central area, but we know how good he is in the air. Pressing triggers. The press is not constant, but trigger based. So yeah, they're not just going to press for the sake of pressing. And again, that goes back to them, not leaving much space if they do that. So it's often, but it is based on what we do, depending on where we're passing the ball, often backward passes. I think, Ampadu tends to do that a lot, passing it backwards when he could sometimes play it forwards. Poor touches, Tanaka wasn't great in that last game against Brentford. He did lose the ball a lot. He needs to be better on it this game, otherwise we will get punished by Crystal Palace. And static possession, so allowing energy to be conserved and used tactically. So again, they're not going to, if we have the ball, they're not just going to press. They're not going to press because again, they're just going to get tired out quite easily. I like this. It's clever and it just makes sense. It just makes total sense to me. Don't go pressing for the sake of pressing. Wait for us to make a mistake or lose it in an area where we shouldn't be losing it. Defensive flexibility out of possession is a 3-4-2-1, but this can obviously become a 5-4-1 or a 5-2-3-1 depending on opponent pressure, providing both cover and counter-attack readiness. In possession, build up from the back often starts with a 3 when possible, with wing backs and midfield pivots, creating options to progress. Vertical progression, once the ball crosses midfield, the teams look to penetrate quickly. So they will play around with it at the back, but once it goes into midfield areas, boom, that's it. That's when they look to sort of attack fast, getting players with pace on the ball. Aiming for third-man passes, so forward balls and direct combinations rather than endless ball circulation. They're not just going to pass around the ball for the sake of passing it. We sometimes see us doing that, which I feel like we do. And I want us to stop doing it a little bit more. And this goes back to maybe, like I just said, Ampadu. He doesn't have to always pass it back at times. Let's get that ball forward. Let's get them, the vertical passes and forward passes going. Wing back utilisation. The wing backs usually push high to stretch play and provide width, but also disciplined in cover. Yeah, just touched on that. Attacking midfield movement. Attacking midfields rotate, find pockets between lines and link with the striker. This potential flexibility helps break rigid defensive blocks. Yeah, so, the formation there, you see if Nketiah is starting, he is more of a forward-thinking player anyway. We know he's a striker. And we may see then one of the centre midfielders pushing up as well, getting into the forward areas because they have got the cover at the back. So that is a bit about Crystal Palace. Again, I like the style. I like the formation. It's going to be a really tough game. But it is Ellen Road, and we have seen how good we are against teams at Ellen Road. The form away from home by Crystal Palace is concerning and a bit worrying. I'm going a 2-1 win Leeds, but I think it's going to be a really tight game. You could actually see this being a draw, or a slight win for Palace. I don't think they're going to come and roll us over. But yeah, it's going to be a tough game, and it's a different opposition. It's a different game altogether to what the Chelsea and Liverpool game is going to be. So really interested for this game again, because I do like Glasner. It's going to be a great matchup. They've only come up against each other, Farke and Glasner, a couple of times, especially I think that was in the German league as well. So it's going to be a good matchup. We'll see what this brings. So again, if you've liked the video, please consider subscribing. Please like it, and I will speak to you all soon. Cheers.